Welcome, everyone. Welcome. Thank you so much for coming today. I'm so happy to have this room filled. There's not an empty seat in the house, so that makes me very happy. My name is Sarah Green. I'm the wellness consultant at the Marcus Institute of Integrative Health at FAU Medicine. How many people are here for the first time ever? Wonderful. We're so happy to have you. So I'm really excited to share with you about the programming that we have in store for you today. Before we get to that, I just want to take a quick moment for a little bit of housekeeping. If your phones are not on silent, please do so. We are recording this session. We have additional chairs. There's also 4 more bar stools in the back if need be. And I have more folding chairs as well. Wonderful. Thank you all for helping. Okay, so just a little bit about the Marcus Institute of Integrative Health. So we have 3 practitioners that see patients here. We have our Dean at the College of Medicine, Dr. Julie Pilitsis, who's here in the audience as our featured guest. We also have Dr. Joanna Draus and Dr. Tatiana Pestana, all of whom are accepting new patients. So if you're interested in setting up a new patient appointment, please stay after and we can help facilitate that. All of our programming at the Marcus Institute is free of charge for our community members. Our goal is to educate, inspire, and engage our community members so that we can all live a life of optimal wellness. And we do that through a myriad of programming options. We focus on a number of pillars of wellness, including nutrition, mindfulness, self-care, medical education, and functional movement. So our programming changes about seasonally. Right now we're in our summer program. There are calendars in the back if you're interested. Again, those are all free classes, so feel free to sign up. We've got, okay. We have room in those classes. And then we have a really exciting workshop tomorrow that's being facilitated by Dr. Tatiana Pestana. She is our culinary medicine specialist, and she will be doing a workshop titled Common Supplements and Why You're Taking Them. And we do have a few seats left in there. Bolay has very generously donated lunch for all attendees of that Lunch and Learn. So that's tomorrow at 12 p.m. So for today, you're in for a real treat. We have not only Dr. Julie Pilitsis here as our special featured guest, but facilitating this workshop today is Colleen Greenlaw and Brian Richardson with Abbott. I'm going to let them share a little bit more about what they do. Colleen is a movement specialist, and she facilitates our Boxing for Parkinson's class right here at the Marcus Institute. So she can share as she's cooking a little bit about what that looks like, and Brian will expand on his role at Abbott, but we are incredibly grateful for your expertise and everything that has gone into preparing for today. Please, as you think of questions, feel free. We want this to be interactive and fun, so please feel free to raise your hand, and we will all enjoy learning from one another today. So with no further ado, I'd like to welcome up all 3 of our guests today. Please come on up. Thank you. Well,
come on up.
Watch your step right here.
Okay, thanks. All right. Well, hi, welcome. Happy to have you here. Go ahead, introduce yourself.
Yeah, thank you. My name is Brian Richardson, and I'm a therapy development manager with Abbott. And so part of my job is not only to be in the OR, but also to work with the community and help educate them on advancements in technology, such as Abbott's new virtual clinic that allows you to connect with your physician no matter where you're at. So in times of the pandemic and even rising gas prices, you're able to connect with your physician and they can adjust your therapy for DBS no matter where you're at. So that's why I'm here. So if you have any questions about DBS, please reach out to me afterwards. Thank you.
Hi, Julie Pilitsis, glad to see so many of you. This is my passion. I am a neurosurgeon, but a lot of my time has focused on care of the Parkinson's community. So I've been doing this about 15 years, and I perform the deep brain stimulation, but at the same time, one of the things that we found is really just engaging everybody, all the doctors, all the nurses, everybody that touches patients with you all, so that we can form a community that can let us all be the best that we can be. So really excited to see so many of you again. We've had a couple of you out in the community and excited to be here and learn about all the great things that we're going to show you today.
Yeah, thank you so much. All right. We'll talk to you in a little bit.
Okay.
We have some questions. So, hi, everybody. My name's Colleen, and we're going to make some really yummy dishes today. We're going to make a sweet potato curry lentil with broccoli. So, and then we're also going to make, I kind of have a picture here. We're going to make an arugula salad with a honey Dijon mustard, some pumpkin seeds, mixed berries, and quinoa. And then we have a coconut yogurt, granola, chia seeds, and mixed berries. Everything here is plant-based. So, and all the ingredients that we picked out are really good for the mind, digestion, eyes, the heart, just everything to make you feel ultimate vitality. So I'm really passionate about cooking, and I'll go a little bit in my background of cooking, which isn't too deep. It's more of a passion. So I've always liked healthy food, and I've always kind of been plant-based and vegan. And then during the pandemic, I couldn't really eat so many foods that I wanted to and go out. So I decided to become a chef and study it myself. And I love good food. So I wanted to make plant-based something that everyone can love and enjoy. Even if you're a meat eater, this food is delicious. It's the kind of food that kind of makes you dance inside. So I just want to let you know that even if you're not a chef or have much culinary experience, this stuff is all simple that you can do. All the ingredients we picked, you can buy pre-chopped up, so they're easy. Broccoli, you can break with your hands. You can buy carrots and the potatoes already cut up. So if you don't like a knife, everything can be already done. So,
And I can tell you, as a meat eater, we had a chance to sample this the other day, and it's phenomenal. So she's absolutely right about that.
And I just want to make people smile with good food. And I'm very passionate about bringing people together. So this makes my heart so happy to see so many people here. And I guess let's just get started with some cooking. All right. So first thing we're going to do is I've already chopped up some sweet potatoes and carrots. And all we're going to do is put a little olive oil on it. So easy peasy, a little bit, enough to coat it. And then we have a curry powder. All right. And I already have the oven preheated at 375. So we're going to put this in the oven. I kind of like to do this first because it takes the longest. And then we'll put a little bit of salt on it. All right. A little bit, a lot, whatever you like. All right.
Now, Colleen, you talked about some of the ingredients in here. Is there a reason why you chose them specifically?
Well, all the ingredients are really good for your digestion, and I also picked stuff that has protein in it. So everyone thinks plant-based doesn't have protein, but we have a lot of ingredients. Like we have our lentils, that's going to have your protein. Broccoli has protein, our seeds have protein, and our quinoa. So, and you want to eat, when you eat plant-based, you want to just try to eat as much color as you can. And that's the best, and variety it up each time. So don't get used to the same old ingredients. Variety is best. So you get a nice, full, well-rounded palette. All right, so easy peasy, mix it up. You're going to put this on the plate. And I want to try to cut everything in the same size or varying the same size. Shake it out so nothing's stacked on top of one another. And then we're just going to put that in the oven for about 25 minutes. Voila. That's that. I have one already made, so we'll pull it out later. So we won't be here for that long. All right, next we're going to do is we're going to put red peppers. We have ginger and garlic and onions, and we're going to saute it in the pan. So let's put a little coconut oil on.
I'm analyzing the spreadsheet numbers.
And I don't know if you guys know, we're using coconut oil and not olive oil to cook with, because you guys know what happens when you put olive oil in the pan.
What happens?
Besides the fire, no. No, basically, it produces a toxin when you cook it in the pan. Olive oil is made for more of a drizzle, and you can cook coconut oil, that's plenty, with high heat.
So I've heard about that at high heat and olive oil.
Oh yeah. So let that kind of get warm. While that's doing, we'll kind of start the broth in the middle. So if anyone has any questions, or if I'm going too fast, please ask.
Any of these recipes printed out for us, or?
Yeah, you'll have the recipe for you.
Email them to all of you.
Yeah.
Perfect.
This recipe, it was kind of funny because I've made it before and then I kind of fine tune it each time and then I have dreams about it and how I want to make it. So
That's
I'm
true
weird.
passion right there.
I'm like, oh, that would probably be a better way to make it. So I do that.
So you put olive oil on the sweet potatoes and the carrots and you
Yes.
put those in the oven.
Right.
And are you putting that on a high heat? Will
That, no, you can bake olive oil in the oven, but not on the pan itself. All right. I am just going to get. All right. All right, so in the middle pan, this is where we're gonna do the bulk of the baking, the cooking, is we're gonna put some veggie broth in here. La 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 la. Yes, go ahead.
What's the difference between the coconut oil that you're using, which is more solidified, obviously,
Mhm.
and just a liquid coconut oil? Is there any difference? Because I have both.
That's a
I'm not
great
sure
question.
He asked me that too. He called me
I
up
was
at
at
the
the store. I was like,
supermarket.
what
What
do
do
I
I get?
Is it just the temperature of the room or does it?
Well, this solidifies at a certain temperature. I've actually never found liquid stuff, so I like the raw whole coconut puree, and it's like unrefined. So I have everything in here is organic, it's vegan, gluten-free. So, and I try to go the cleanest I can with the ingredients. So, yeah.
And so either the hardened or the liquid would be just fine for cooking?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. All right, and then what we did to make it really easy, they have these lentil blends that you can make that are already kind of sprouted. So instead of taking 30 minutes to make, they take 5 to 10. So these are easy little tips. So what I did is I put the broth in here, veggie broth. I put the pan on high, and then we're just gonna put those guys in there to start. All right.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
For the audience, actually. Is anyone strictly plant-based in here? And do you want to share about your journey or experience eating plant-based?
Well, I used to bodybuild and there was like a myth that you need to, protein. But I competed like in the 90s and early 2000s. So that was like the old school like mentality, but that just doesn't exist. You have plenty of protein from plant-based. You don't need to eat meat. People always are like, oh, but you're missing. You can't do that. You're missing, ingredients. You're not getting enough supplements, your minerals. That's nonsense.
So the protein does not have to be from an animal source.
No,
Right,
not at all.
exactly.
In fact, it seems more digestible and more usable.
Great, thank you for sharing.
And so like these foods, like lentils, that has like complete proteins in it as well. So you're gonna have that. And then with the mix of everything, it adds to the complete meal too. So everyone has the myth that they have to eat meat. And I wouldn't tell anyone to stop eating it, but that out of my personal choice and what I believe, I think the more close to nature you get and the plants themselves, like it's food, it's medicine for you, Think of every ingredient you put into your body, in your digestive system. Instead of trying to take out the toxins and purify everything, you're basically putting stuff in your body that's like helps everything work better. So
I think there's misnomers out there as well that healthy food can't taste good. And I think today you'll find out that healthy food tastes really good.
yeah, as long as I don't burn it today. Watch it be my first time on TV. Yeah, no. And if you do, you'll just smile and say, All right, so we're waiting along here. So any other questions that people have about anything? And then I could always fill in some gaps with lots of education. Any other questions?
Where do you shop?
No, it's that same question.
Oh, yeah.
Where you shop?
Yeah, to get the food, yeah.
Do you have to go to Whole Foods or can you get most of it?
You can, a lot of places provide organic foods now. So there's markets you can buy it at, they have farmers markets, you can go Whole Foods, Trader Joe's, a lot of places have the food. So I would say all over. You can find your favorite place to find your favorite foods too, so.
And the idea is to make this a series. And so we're hoping to do this, a few times throughout the year and offer a couple different recipes.
Yeah.
What do you have for breakfast?
Breakfast? Well, we're kind of the dessert that we're making today. Who asked the question?
I did.
Okay, I was like, I heard it, but I didn't know where the place it came from. So we're gonna make a dessert today. It's a coconut yogurt that we have with some granola, chia seed. That's a really good one. An overnight oats would be good.
That's really good.
That's why I was hoping to make like a breakfast things next time. So you want to have like a nice healthy balance, and like all these like fruits in here have antioxidants, and think how amazing that is for your body, you know, and you process this much easier. So I guess while this is sauteing, let's teach you guys how to make the salad dressing. This is probably going to take about 5 minutes, and you don't need to see me do this for 5 minutes. All right, so we'll bring the blender over here, and I'll kind of tell you all the ingredients that we're going to put into it. So first thing we're going to do is 3 garlic cloves. All right, a little bit of salt. That's about 1/4 teaspoon. This is lemon, squeezed lemon. All right. We have oregano and thyme. So this is going to go on that arugula salad. Lemon peel. This is Dijon mustard and honey. I'm going to go through the same thing. Olive oil. And finally, white wine vinegar. And that is that. Pretty
Now,
simple, right?
Dr. Pilitsis, we said that we weren't going to ask you to do any cooking, but we are going to ask you to come up here and at
Turn
least.
the blender on.
That's it.
Just get
We'll
the
see how it
support.
goes.
Get the lid.
Okay.
I got this. Can you smell all this? Smelling good? Turmeric. I'm gonna use that in a curry. Yeah. It's a little mix of everything, and that's like anti-inflammatory.
I just have to stand near it and. Is that an error code?
Let's put it on this one.
I got it.
We didn't see that. Come on over here. Hold it. Let's put it on like 1. Push play.
There we go.
There you go. You can probably pump it up a little, give it a little more.
Starting to smell good in here.
Yeah. So besides cooking, just so you know a little about me, I do the Rock City boxing here, and I've been teaching exercise now for about 20 years. So if you have any questions on exercise and movement, that's my specialty and passion. And I think in part of just eating, moving your body is really important. You know, everyone knows that. You feel good. That releases different hormones in your body. So you got that going. And mindset. You know, you can exercise, you can eat well, but the power of the mind is really important. Can you hear me with the blender?
A little bit. Can you repeat what's in the saute pan, one of our Zoom?
Oh yeah, this is ginger, garlic, and red peppers. So, thank you.
Let's
Oh
hear it
my
for
God.
Dr. Pilitsis.
Yes, thank you. All right. And also another thing to do with cooking, you know, cooking is always best when it's served with love, right? So kind of as you're cooking, one thing I like to do is kind of always be blessing my food and putting like good energy into it. So I don't know if you've ever heard of that, but it's like, I'm sure you guys have heard those studies where they take water crystals, right? And they say love to the water crystal or to the water, and they freeze it. It makes this beautiful water crystal. And then they have a water crystal where they'll continuously say like, I hate you. And then that water crystal is all the storms. So considering that most of us are water and there's water in our food, I mean, imagine what you're doing when you're making your food. So always put that into mind. I always like all the little tidbits that you can add to your
And I've
food.
heard that with plants too, right?
Right,
If you sing
plants,
to plants and sing to them, then they grow.
Yeah. All right. So that is almost all done
Looks
here.
good.
All right. So good. This is finally almost boiling.
just gonna plop that in there.
Yep, we're gonna add this into here. I have another blender exercise for you
Oh.
coming up.
I'm ready.
So, all right. There we go. We're gonna turn that one off.
Save that for you.
Take that. I'm gonna keep this here. Thank you. All right. So we'll keep that going. And just so you know, I did some prep work before I made the rice. So I made a coconut rice before class. So just so you know, what I put in there is I added some water and some coconut cream as well. So it adds a cream and a little bit of honey. It's just a nice
Coconut
little,
cream, I haven't heard that before.
well, or coconut milk, I'm sorry.
Coconut milk,
Coconut milk, yeah. So I added.
and that's a
some
jasmine rice.
Jasmine rice,
Awesome.
yeah. All right, let's go into the next step with the blender. All right, so it's done, wow. So fast. All right, so this is what we're gonna put into the blender. All right, and then we're gonna add our coconut milk. I'm gonna actually put a couple of bits of pieces in here first to make some whole pieces go in there. All right.
Next question about the rice.
Yes.
So you said jasmine rice, and do you have a preference in what type of rice you use? You know, I think that would taste better with this, but white versus brown.
Brown rice has more nutrients.
Okay.
I use white rice because I like it. Just to be honest. All right, this is not hot, so don't worry. All right, so I'm gonna add just a few pieces to this. So you get some pieces in the soup. Then we're gonna puree all of it.
And that's the sweet potato and carrots, correct?
Right. And I cooked it so it's just soft. You want to make sure you don't cook it till it's burnt. You don't
So
want that flavor in there.
20 minutes at what temperature?
25 minutes at 375.
Perfect.
All right. So I'm gonna put these in the other blender and then, oh, here it is.
Thank you.
Yeah. And I'll take this. You're ready. All right, so while you're here, before that, I'll ask you a question.
Oh,
Is
wonderful.
that okay?
Perfect.
Okay, so you're new here to FAU, you came in February.
Yes.
So what is your vision for this institute?
Yes. So, you know, I think that I'm really excited to be at FAU. We are the only medical school in Palm Beach County. And when we think about Palm Beach County, Broward, and Martin County, there's actually more people in those three counties than any other region in all of Florida. And it seems like more are coming every day, often from where I'm from, which is New York, New Jersey area. And so, you know, I see it as my responsibility to help provide better care for all the patients living in those three counties.
Thank you. All right.
Awesome. All right, I think we're ready, and we just need to add the
Oh, all of it.
all of it.
All of
Okay.
it. Let me help you.
We got a trick to it. There we go.
How many carrots?
Okay, it's 2 sweet potatoes and 4 carrots. If you want to buy it, the potatoes themselves, if you want to peel them yourselves, or you can just buy a container of them. So, all right, put that there, and I'm gonna put a little of this in. So I'm gonna put a half a can of the coconut milk in. All right, now we're ready for the blender.
Oh, there it goes. And what do you want that at?
Start at 1 and then you're
Okay,
gonna
crank it up.
purify it, get it all.
We've got the dressing done. We're working on the puree. We're waiting for the lentil puree.
Yep.
Awesome.
Alright.
So what are we going to use the broccoli for?
That's gonna go in after this.
Oh, nice.
I put the broccoli in a little bit later because if you overcook the broccoli, it becomes like too mushy. So you kind of want a little bit of crunch to it. So we add it a little later.
We need some more.
Yeah, it's got a little more later in there. Yep. That's gonna be a hard one to get out then. All right, so who here likes curry or any of that? All right, good. Then it was a good choice to make. All right.
Don't like curries or spicy, but straight out.
Yeah, you can, I mean, look at, I didn't even add the curry. I mean, I didn't put the main stuff into it, but yeah, you can make it with any other flavor that you like. This is the base. So that's what I'll add in now. I put 3 tablespoons of the curry. There we go.
Well, the fun part of cooking as well is finding your own taste, though, right? So you can add, just salt and pepper if you like, or, some other spices. Kind of make it your own.
What about you, Stan?
Oh yeah, wait a second. I'm gonna get you. Just go for it.
Okay, crank it up.
Perfect. Okay. What'd you say?
I was saying, do you ever use any of the meat substitutes like Beyond Beef or the Gardein or any of that stuff in your cooking?
I personally don't, but if you like it, it's a good start to eat plant-based. Like if you're going for meats and you don't want to go right to the vegetables, some people have this mentality that like, I can't maintain without it. So I would say, yes, start with it and then see how you do as you slowly move into this direction. I know personally, I feel better. Like I started my program by like intuitively eating and seeing what felt best to me. And I see what doesn't feel good to me. So each day you're gonna like see how you feel eating that. Like notice how a few hours after how your body responds to it. That's kind of the best way to kind of feel it out. All right, so
I have a question.
sure.
So, I tried to do plant-based for about 6 months and I felt so much better. So, I think it can reduce your inflammation and do a whole lot of stuff. But then I'm like always running from place to place. And how do you maintain this? And, what are your options when you don't have time to cook a full meal?
So we don't have time to cook a full meal. You could either pick one day that you want to make a few salad or salad preps, some soup preps. Like you could make this and it could last you lunches throughout the week.
Okay.
Or you could just pick some fruits, vegetables. There's some great places out there. You can buy some salads. I like that I go to, I guess I'm not supposed to say names on the TV. I don't know, but raw juice. They have really nice stuff there. And then nuts and seeds. What kind of foods do you like? What's your favorite? And I can work with that.
Oh, I like anything.
Anything.
Yeah, I'm pretty flexible.
Okay. So you just want something. So basically I put this creamy stuff in there and it's going to add a creamy texture. I know you can't see it. I'm going to mix it in. So it's going to add a sweetness to it.
I was gonna suggest also, to answer that, I think there's a lot of outside the box approaches to plant-based eating. Has anyone ever tried cabbage steaks? We call it a steak, right? So you take an entire head of cabbage and you cut it up and you put it on the grill and you cook it just like a steak. And it's really filling. And so there's alternatives that we don't really think of that would actually be the main part of the meal that can contribute to plant-based. And there's also a movement called Meatless Mondays. If you're a little bit interested in plant-based eating, it's a really fun, you can go on social media and use that hashtag and find a ton of recipes. And it's just a way to kind of get your toes wet in plant-based eating without feeling like you're completely sacrificing and giving up what you love.
That's a good point. If you are, have a separate diet right now to kind of ease into a plant-based lifestyle, is that something you'd recommend?
Yeah, take your time with it. That's why I said you can try the alternatives, but it might be a lot to just go cold turkey into it. And plus your body takes time to adjust to all the small things that you do with it. So if you go at anything too hard, your body will react. So even if you're, even with an exercise program, you don't want to go all out right away or you'll get hurt. Same with eating, just take your time and see how your body feels. If you drink too much caffeine, maybe cut back a little bit on that at first, or pick one little habit or one little change at a time. That's how I would do it. I'm an extremist. I normally would do them. I would do them all at the same time, and then I have little side effects. So that's how I did it. But I would say from that viewpoint, take your time and enjoy the process. If you just pick one day a week to try a new recipe, I would try something new once a week and just see how you like it. And then, bring some friends over. make them eat your food. I know during COVID, I had my meat eater friends say, what's your favorite dish that's, that has meat in it? And then I take the challenge and try to make that same dish with plants. So you can also kind of do that. Challenge yourself. It's creative. Get really fun with your plating. That always makes it really nice when the food looks good when you present it. That's one of my favorites. It's like make it art pieces. So
yeah, it's very interesting. My cousin, he's a chef and a plant-based chef, and so he had that challenge where he would have tofu that was like the pork base. Then he would cover it with seasonings, and then he would put criminy mushrooms with a little Old Bay, and it was like a crab cake. And then we had like similar dessert. So there are ways to make it taste like your normal foods without having some of the challenges of those foods.
So I guess while this is kind of simmering, we can ask you some more questions.
Okay.
All right. So I know you're a specialist with Parkinson's and
Yes.
you're passionate about DBS. So can you educate the group a little bit about DBS, just in case not everyone knows, like just kind of general and like who would be good candidates for it?
Sure. Now, many of you, I think, know about DBS. Show of hands, deep brain stimulation. Okay. And anybody have it done? Okay, great. And so, what I'm gonna do is just talk a little bit about it, and then I'm gonna turn it over to the people that have had it done, because I always think that's the best way for people to hear about things. So basically, it is a pacemaker for the brain. When we think about people that have had a stroke, think about somebody with bad stroke, you can't move that whole side of your body. But if you think about somebody with Parkinson's, you can move, and oftentimes you move too much. So it's almost like the regulation or the volume on your movement has been turned up or turned down or in any direction. And what DBS does is it helps to normalize the volume to where it's supposed to be. If this is a TV analogy, to where it's comfortable to listen to the TV. And what's nice about it is that, overall, living with Parkinson's is so hard because you can't tell what you're going to be from day to day, and it's unpredictable. And so you don't want to go out if you're not sure how you're going to be that day. And so there's these huge hills and valleys, and it evens it out. So keep me honest, guys.
True. Absolutely.
Very good inspiration for it. It really feels like you're 20th century medicine. First of all, the brain, there's no government except for the only thing you have to come up with is the drilling into your skull, you don't feel it there. The only thing you feel is a problem is the frame onto your skull, and that's a you need to look for. And it works out fine, except the exclusive is line for you to and looking where it's off with the backstairs. Shop. Other than that, if you advise you to do what I did, anything at all, the local where it's but my wife learned there, she has to do what I do, major out of it. He said, get a painting. We did that. It's very good. Since 25 years ago, they mapped out the brain so that they can come very closely up to it. Actually, they ask you what to find that when you're not out. So you're not out, there's no pain, and it's very quickly built, players in both sides of the brain, and players there. And a better world, a better shape, and if you have it, doctor lives. And so people that are in charge, make sure that. So
Thanks so much for
Thank
sharing.
you. Thank you.
You know, I think that's great, and I think one of the many things you said there were really important. A couple of things, so you know, he's had this for 15 years. That's a popular question in terms of how long this lasts. And you know, we have to do a battery change, and no procedure on you is a minor procedure, but this is just in the chest and, you know, literally a 15-minute outpatient procedure. So once the leads are there, they're good, and the effects don't wear off. This does, you know, the disease goes on, but you know, it has dramatic effects. I think since the time you've had it done, I knock people out when you put that frame on, so you don't feel that. I've gotten much kinder and gentler about the process. And, you know, then I think just, I had the pleasure to train with the person that did all that original mapping of the brain. And, you know, now we don't have to do that as much because we know where we're going. So the procedures are a lot shorter. So it's generally about an hour and a half if I'm doing one side and 2.5 if I'm doing both.
That's awesome. We have a couple other people that have DBS. John Zells, I think if you want to share a little bit about your experience with DBS.
Well, sure. I had it done about 3.5 years ago at the University of Miami. I was diagnosed at the age of 32, 45 now, so 13 years. Had it, 3 years DBS. It was a last resort for me. I had a doctor that didn't think I would be a good candidate for it, so I never, you know, I thought it was a good option. It turned out to be the greatest thing I ever did. Changed my life. I was at a point where I was. All right. I was at a point where I was unable to move for the most part. I was taking 30 pills on a good day, 32 to 34 pills on a bad day. You know, my day consisted of waking up in the morning, rolling out of bed, taking some pills just so I can make it to the bathroom. From there, roll out to the couch and just kind of stare at the TV. And I couldn't, it was in such a brain fog from all the medications I was taking that I, you know, just didn't, nothing registered for the last year before I ended up going and doing the DBS. And once I did DBS, I was on the move and eating what I wanted to eat and doing what I wanted to do. And a major reduction in medication. So, and no more of the hills and valleys like she was speaking about. And it's just been an amazing thing.
It changed your life, right?
Yeah, absolutely. 100%.
Yeah.
I had the pleasure of meeting John probably about 12, 13 years ago. So prior to all this, and you know, it's one of the reasons why I got into working with Abbott and, you know, being in DBS. It's just a change in life. You know, in many cases, you get your life back. You know, without, you know, in other words. So you know, thank you for sharing your story as well.
And I think we touched upon a couple of important things. So this is a disease that affects people at all ages. And so, you know, I've treated patients as young as 14 and as old as, you know, in their high 80s. And so I think that this is something where, you know, we do what is right for you at the time. And he was talking about being on 30 pills a day. And, you know, sometimes your doctor will say, oh, you know, unless you're taking your pills every 2 hours, you're not bad enough. This is about quality of life. So only you can make that decision. I know for anybody in the room that takes pills like once or twice a day, that can be a lot. And then imagine taking pills 4, 5, 6 times a day and what that's like and what the unpredictability is. So, you know, I think it's
plenty of times where I would take, you know, my dose. I was taking 6 pills every 4 hours.
Yeah.
And at night, I would wake up in the middle of the night just to be able to go to the bathroom or get back to sleep. I'd have to take more Cinnamon or cargo. And I had plenty of time where I would think that I'd be able to go out. You know, for the last 2 years of my pre-DBS existence, I stopped going out and I could barely reduce because I never knew when I was just going to have a complete dosage failure. I'd take the 6 pills I was just taking and nothing would happen. I would go out and I just fall apart and I have to go on sitting on my hands. Nobody could understand what I was saying. Everybody's asking what. So I just kind of gave it through my hand.
And I think it's interesting, we're talking about a variety of things here, and obviously, you're not gonna have surgery if you don't need surgery. So, I think there's medication, but all the stuff we're talking about today, thinking about how to take control and empower yourself over, suffering or having a chronic condition, I think is really important. So, I see people all the time that have constipation along with their Parkinson's disease, or have difficulty swallowing, or other things that are related to the GI tract. And so, the plant-based is a great healthy option that we recommend for lots of people. This may need to be individually tweaked if, you're suffering from any of those other things. And, this is a start. And people always ask me, there's always a study that comes out that you see on TV. Oh, they say, remember when it was coenzyme Q, and everybody took that. And, then there's the vitamin E that's come up. And then, there's a lot of things I've been seeing being in the field for 15 years. And, I think with a healthy diet, you can't go wrong. And then tweaking that, as she said, with one thing at a time to see how you can feel better and get more regular and more predictable is really helpful.
I think one thing that's very important, I didn't take to heart from any of the doctors that I saw, excuse me, was diet and exercise, and staying hydrated key to staving off the progression of disease, at least to a point. And had I maybe listened to them a little better, didn't always go eating hamburgers and drinking sodas or whatever, I might have. And my exercise was work for me. I worked in construction stuff. I didn't think I needed to exercise, but it wasn't the same cardio effect that you get. So if I had done those things, maybe I could have stayed off a few more years, or not been as bad, and maybe not take 30 pills. But either way, it's very, very important. So.
Right. And I think the cardio is important, but I think another thing that was touched upon today with the conversation about cooking with love and doing other things, being intentional about your movements and your thoughts are really important. So, I know we have a runner in the audience, and who does boxing for Parkinson's? Yeah.
I teach it.
Awesome.
They
And
do.
anybody do yoga or Tai Chi? Yeah. And so I think that making sure that you're involved in those things, and there's not a right answer. Dancing, that's another big one.
Dancing
Yeah.
every
Oh, there's
day.
our dancer.
She's a
Yeah.
great dance teacher.
Right? Choir, singing.
Tai Chi. Tai Chi's over there.
So these are all things that are about being really intentional about how you move your body, how you use your voice, and how you think, and making sure that you're connecting that mind and body.
And what about community, making sure you're part of a community, a support group of some sorts, whether it be the boxing, dancing, singing? Do you think that's an important part of it as well?
I think that is absolutely essential. And, I think that it's fun to all get together, whatever the activity is, and there's not a right or wrong answer, whatever gives you that sense of community. I've noticed quickly moving down here that 80 in Florida, in South Florida, does not look like 80 in Albany. And, and when you think about why, it's because it's such a healthier lifestyle here, right? Everybody's walking, the sense of community is all around us. And, there's talk about eating healthy and doing all these things. And, even though sometimes it doesn't feel like it, there's a fountain of youth down here. So, and I think it's all those components.
And I think it's important to remind everyone that whether you're a Parkinson's patient or a general community member, we want the Marcus Institute to be your go-to for those resources. So whether it's to see one of our practitioners or come to these community classes and workshops, we want to provide for you the community, the education, the engagement, so that you have all of those at your fingertips available.
Yeah, and that's our charter, so here, the Marcus Institute was sponsored by Bernie Marcus. He was the founder of Home Depot, and he's a big believer in integrative health. And one of the components of that Sarah has been working so hard at is we have 12 community events a month. So there is lots going on.
Before we start, I have a special guest, and I want to, Rafael Salgado, he's a friend of mine. He drove here from Sunrise. Yeah, would you like to come up? Now, Rafael also has DBS, so if you want to share a little bit about your experience with it as well.
Oh, yeah, please.
Come into the center.
You don't have to use the blender.
Yeah, let you guys.
I had DBS. I was diagnosed in 2015, and I did the DBS about a year and a half ago. It's been an up and down hill. I still go through the adjustment process, which is, I'm sure, I think, haven't done yet.
It takes some time,
Yeah. How long did it take you?
good 8 months before I got to where I wanted to be. And
Yeah.
I still go back, I was supposed to go back last week.
So you're talking about like fine tuning it,
Yes,
right?
yeah.
So after you have the surgery, you gotta fine tune it, so that's where you're in the
Yeah.
process.
Other than that, I think I've had a lot of tremor before the DBS. The tremors stopped, but it has some side effects with my voice and my swallowing. I'm still working on it.
Well, that's awesome. Yeah, I met him.
You touched upon one of the hardest parts is that you undergo this surgery and you've made this commitment and you want to get better right away. And then sometimes you need this community like you have here to help you, because it takes months to a year to get there, because just as when we go up and down on medications, we're going up and down on that program.
Yeah.
And then it's not, I think it's still, you need to work with the voice therapy and keep moving. So it's, just another tool that we have in our toolbox. Yeah, but thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
Awesome.
I have a question for the audience. So all of this is about feeling good. It's about being part of the community. What is everyone's favorite things to do to feel good? It could be exercise. Just raise your hand and tell me what your favorite thing to do. Go ahead.
Bike riding by the beach.
Bike riding by the beach. All right. What other people's are bliss for them? Go ahead, start with T-shirt.
I can still play golf, it was there to do.
Nice.
I'm thinking right into the city to take that to a golf tournament, for partners.
Don't give away all our secrets.
Next app.
Oh. Okay. So we played golf. Nice.
And so I thought originally we were having a golf tournament with like the Fox and
Oh, nice.
two of them. Yeah. Anyway, that's how it goes. And the winner of the golf tournament, was a chance to play this.
Nice. That's awesome. Keep us updated, Judy, right?
The winner of that will play. It's real well. We have a caddy here. And you look good.
Nice. Thank you.
Great.
We have all right. So
Notice how his voice got better because he's speaking about something.
So that's it. All I'm going to encourage you guys to do is move, eat right, find things that make you happy, find your joy in life, and be around people and share your own personal love. Especially in the world the way it is, right? We're in charge of it, right? We're in charge of it every single moment. So just take a moment, look around everyone, just say hi real quick, look around, smile at each other, giggle, laugh, right? That's part of the therapy, is to laugh. So if we can laugh a little bit more, that makes everything a lot better. So, all right, so we are done with the cooking. We're gonna put everything together for you, and we're going to serve you guys in just a second. Any quick questions? Because I know we're running out of time, that anyone has. Yes.
How do you find out about what's happening in the community? Do you have a brochure or a leaflet? I mean, you say you have.
We have a website,
You have a-
and I'll make sure you have literature before
Yeah.
you leave to access that website. You can register for all the upcoming programs on that website.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, and there's plenty of resources out there in all different avenues, and there's even people in here that run different programs, so there's lots of good in the community, especially in this Parkinson's community. It's a very supportive group. I've been working in it for 6 years, and it's been blissful. It's just surrounded by some of my people that come to my class are here, and so.
And part of coming to these groups is reach out to your neighbors, like she asked, and exchange numbers or emails or whatever, and ask them what they're doing, because they're likely part of another support group as well, and so they may be able to connect you to a number of different activities.
Sarah,
Yeah, let me show the end.
I'll share some of the Parkinson's flyer that we have. I'll send you our flyers, so
You just prep
anyone
it.
knows.
Okay.
Right, and that's about you.
I'm gonna show it, yes.
Okay. Yes, please. Thank you.
All right, I'm just gonna show how this is put together for the people that are watching on Zoom, and then we will do it, so.
We have about 20 participants that are following us on Zoom.
Okay.
This entire workshop has also been recorded, so if any one of you have friends or family that were unable to attend, that content will be available as well.
Okay, so the arugula salad, real simple. We're just gonna put a little arugula in the bowl. I'm just gonna put a demo. I'm not gonna go the massive amount that you would. Then we're gonna go with the quinoa.
Do you worry about portion control at all, or you just,
Me,
yeah, well.
I eat plant. To me?
Less worried about
Look at, I consider all this as nutrients in it, so I eat as much as I want, so eat it, don't stress out about it. 1 second, let me just do real quick. All right, so the salad, we did arugula, we did quinoa, that's gonna have some added protein. I put a little raspberries into it. You could put blackberries, any kind of berries into it.
Looks like a great summer salad too.
Yeah, it's
Berries.
refreshing, light antioxidants, good for the skin, hydrating. And then we'll put a little bit of pumpkin seeds in it. And we'll drizzle some dressing on it. I'm not gonna use that for the demo, but that's that. And then the dessert is real easy. I got some coconut yogurt, which is really nice. This is good for the brain, has a good amount of fats in it, has some proteins in it. So.
And you said this is also good for a breakfast alternative?
Yes, this is great for breakfast. And you can put even like pumpkin seeds in it, anything you want. All right, give me one more spoon, but I'll use this one. I got this one. And I got a granola. I just got it Whole Foods. It's gluten-free. It has pumpkin seeds in it. A little bit of that. And chia seeds. This is a good source of nice fats into it.
So chia seeds have fats in them?
The omega-3s. And with a little bit of honey. And then you can add some of the berries onto it as well. So, and that's how you do it. And that's the final product right there. So we're gonna serve you guys all here this food. And
Did you want to show them the final?
do you want me to show the final?
Why don't you
soup?
show them our Zoom because I'll end the Zoom.
All right.
And while they're plating the food, after she's done showing, we have a short little game with some prizes for everyone while they're plating up the food, because we love to have fun here as well.
All right, hi everyone on Zoom. This is the curry. All right, some of that delicious rice, and then we'll add some of the curry. And then we're also gonna put a little bit of cilantro on it. I just gotta chop it up. So there we go. I can't wait for you guys to eat this, and hopefully you guys are making this at home.
Thanks for joining.
Thank you for joining.